Hey loves, and welcome back to Life with Chekesha. You already know who it is. It's your girl, and I am here today doing a little bit of a different type of video. And in today's video, I'm going to be making two dupes. And if you've already seen the title, you know what they are. But if you want to see what they are, keep watching. Before I get into today's video, if this is your first time tuning in, make sure you do me a big favor and drop me a purple heart in the comments box. That way I know that you are new. And as well, if you haven't already done so, whether you are new or a returning viewer, go ahead and click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss any of my videos. So speaking of videos, this video is dedicated to one of my favorite coffee shops. Yes, you already know, Starbucks. And my newest addiction there has been the chocolate croissants. I love them so much, like so much. It may almost be unhealthy. But anyway, so I was like, I gotta figure out how to make it for myself and to make it a little bit low carb as possible, because it is a treat, but with the chocolate chips and then the croissant, yeah, too many of those can catch up with you. And then the other is one of my favorite coffees, and it is the brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso. Not sure if I said that in the right order, but I will put the correct name of the coffee in the video throughout. But anyway, so I'm going to be making it my way. I have to put that disclaimer out there because when you put dupes out there, people are like, well, this don't taste like that, or that ingredients is this, and she didn't give the measurements for this, and da-da-da-da-da-da. This is my take on that drink and my take on that bakery item. Now, I do want to say that I'm making this to my liking. Everybody's sweetness levels and caffeine levels are different. So the good thing about making it at home, you can tweak it to make it work for yourself. So this is my first time making the actual croissant. I have made this espresso drink before. I think I may have showed it in my stories, but I wanted to do a more dedicated video because most of my subscribers on here, not only do they love planners and lifestyle videos, they also love Starbucks. So if I can contribute to any way to help you save some coins for 2022 by showing you how to make some dupes, then that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and get into making these two Starbucks dupes. Alright love, so we're going to go ahead and start with the chocolate croissants, and as you can see, these are all the ingredients that I have, and I do line my cookie sheet with some parchment paper. So once you get these open, you do want to be very careful because the croissant dough is already sliced, or it has the perforated edges, so you don't want to tear it too much. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just roll it out here just so you can see. You can actually get 8 croissant rolls with this dough, but I want to make mine similar to the Starbucks style, in which there's a more like a square or rectangular shape. So I'm going to actually get 4 croissants out of this dough. So as you can see, I kind of separate them in half, and then I actually will then take the half of this one and rip it. Now you want to be careful not to pull your triangles too far apart because you want to kind of knead it with your fingers together to keep it from opening up, because what we're going to do, as you can see now, is to line your chocolate chips. You can add whatever type of chocolate chip that you want. I'm doing sugar free, and I believe these are chocolate chips. They are sugar free, but they taste amazing. So as I'm rolling it, I only really roll it twice. So I put 2 layers of chocolate chips, and then once I roll it, I then try to make sure I pinch the edges really good. That's just going to keep it sealed. And you don't need to get any butter with this because of the pre-made dough. It already has whatever necessary butters that you need to keep the dough together so it won't open up. So as you can see, I'm going to roll up the rest of these and show you how I pinch them, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I make the syrup for our espresso drink. Alright, so I'm just going to show you the things that I'm going to use, but I'll put all the details in the description box. But right now I'm going to show you how I make the brown sugar syrup. Now I'm doubling it up so I can have extra, and then what I will do with the extra is keep it refrigerated in a sealed container so it can stay fresh it should stay fresh for about a week. So the recipe that I'm going to give is just going to call for 4 tablespoons of the brown sugar, and I went back and added 2 more because I had the measurements wrong. And then the amount of water, again, in the comments, I'm going to leave the base recipe, and then you can tweak it based on how large of a batch you want to make. I'm doubling the batch number, and as you can see, I'm using some vanilla extract and cinnamon because it does call for that as well. And I feel like if you can get the measurements to your liking, that's what matters the most. I can give you, the measurements that I found through my research online, but it's all going to kind of be like what you like and how sweet you want it versus how strong you want it espresso wise. So you can do this either on the stove top or in the microwave, whichever works for you. You just want to get that cinnamon and that brown sugar melted and blended really, really good. And I like doing it over the stove top versus the microwave. I've tried both ways because you can actually see the mixture and you can see all the ingredients binding together. So this is what the croissant looked like after I baked it in the oven. And I did do the time based on the croissant's label, and it looks really good, so I'm excited to taste it and see. So now let's go ahead and jump into the espresso. Again, my way is my way. Everybody has different techniques. I'm using a Keurig, and I like to add coffee to my espresso powder. I don't have to, but I do. And I always like to make extra because sometimes I like my espresso coffees a little stronger than the other. Now I'm using this little funnel. You don't have to use it, but I decided to use it as I poured in the brown sugar syrup, and I did let it cool off a little bit because I didn't want it to be super hot because this container is plastic. And I like this because it has a spout that has a cover over it, so that way you can keep all the contents nice and sealed when you put it in the refrigerator, which will help preserve the length of your syrup, and you can probably have it a little bit longer. So as you can see, I'm just shaking it up, making sure everything is good. And now I have my shaker cup, so I'm gonna eyeball it. It looks like about 2 pumps, and then I'm gonna put some ice, and the ice is to cool your espresso milk. Now I haven't seen anyone make the espresso cold. I do have a chiller that I can use, but I decided to just do it the way that Starbucks does it. They take it hot and put it straight in the ice, and it comes out super cold. So what I'm going to do here is just go ahead and pour about 3 ounces of the coffee. And as you can see, I'm making a mess, and my shaker is Yeah, I need a new one. So I'm going to shake it until I see a little bit of the foam bubble up, and that's what the espresso does when you shake it. It probably could have been a little more foamy, but I was making too much of a mess. Now, because I like mine a little sweet, I did add a little bit of extra syrup at the bottom. I filled my cup up. Well, I didn't really fill it up, but I emptied out the espresso contents. And then what I'm going to do now is use this oat milk. Again, I like the brown sugar taste, so I'm using the brown sugar oat milk that I found in Kroger. But you don't have to use this type of oat milk. You can just use the regular oat milk. And I want mine to be a little bit foamy, so I put it on the cold foam setting. I'm going to go ahead and pour it over. Look how good that looks. It has a little bit of thickness to it. And I'm just going to dump it all in. And it's almost kind of like equal parts. But you can add however much you like for the creamer, because some people like it stronger, some people like it medium, some people like, you know, a little more coffee taste. And as you can see, I'm adding a little bit of coffee. So let's go ahead and taste this and see how it turned out. Okay, so now that you've seen me make the brown sugar shaken espresso and the chocolate croissants, let's go ahead and do a taste test. So let's do the croissants first. Then they're really soft, which I do like, and the chocolate chips seem like they melted pretty good. And like I said, these are sugar-free, so the sugar-free does melt a little differently than your actual 100% sugar chocolate chips. So let's taste it. Listen, these taste really good. They taste really similar to the chocolate croissants that they have at Starbucks. The only difference is that the Starbucks croissants are a little more flakier. They have more layers to it. I think because they use, you know, real puff pastry. If I try this with the puff pastry, I think Pepperidge Farm makes a puff pastry. Maybe I'll try it again like that so I can get that flakiness. But for a dupe and to make it at home and save some coins, as well as cutting some of the calories and the sugar, you know, with the chocolate, I think it's a win-win. Let me finish this off real quick. All right, so now let's go for the brown sugar. The brown sugar oat milk espresso. Now, as you saw, I kind of made it for my liking, but if you have the Nespresso, you can use the espresso capsules to put in there. I have a Keurig, so typically I just use the Cafe Bustelo, and I mix it with coffee. You don't have to do it that way. You can just do it with the straight espresso powder. If you can get the actual espresso coffee beans and you got a grinder, you can grind it up, and Keurig has the little reusable pods where you can do it that way. So there's a lot of ways that you can achieve the espresso portion of this without having a fancy espresso machine. And let me show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll taste it. All right, so I have this thing right here in which if you like to get fresh ground coffee, you can put inside, and it has the little basket. And so you would just pack it with whatever. So if you get the espresso grounds or you get the beans and you want to grind it yourself, you can just put it in there. And I'll leave a link to my coffee listing that has all of these things on Amazon. So let's get into this. So good. Now, because I like to have a more coffeeier taste, this is everything to me. And I just used a coffee spot, the coffee shop pods. I switch my pods out. Whatever's on sale, that's what I get. But It is so good. And as you saw, I made a little more coffee than what I needed because I like to have reserve, because I know I like mine a little strong. So I keep the reserve. But all you really need, and this is probably actual grande size that I did, because this is a venti size cup. But all you need is about 3 ounces of your espresso, coffee, whatever mix to put in there. And then you do about the same parts with your creamer. Everything is to taste. I mean, if you've been to Starbucks, you know that depending on who the barista is, sometimes it doesn't taste the same. So it's the same way when you make it at home. You tweak it how you want to tweak it. And I feel like when you make it at home, you can make the adjustments a lot better for yourself than going to a Starbucks. Because sharing this story with y'all real quick, and then I'm gonna go. When the pumpkin cold foam thing was the big crave, I tried it at one Starbucks, and it was to die for. Then I went to a different Starbucks, and it was horrible. Same thing with this drink. When I first found out about it, I put the order in. It was perfect. And when they made it at first, it was different. They didn't shake it. So you had like the syrup at the bottom, the coffee, and then you had the cream. So it was really good to me that way. And then when I went to another Starbucks, they had actually shaken it, and it tastes even better to me. Then I went to another Starbucks, and it wasn't good at all. So I say all that to say is, when you're making your dupes at home, they're never going to taste exactly how you got it at Starbucks. And to be quite frank, not unless you go to the same Starbucks and you have the same barista that makes it every time, it's never going to be exactly the same. So, but anyway, I say all that to say is that this is delicious, and I made enough syrup so I can make a couple of batches at home. And you just kind of double up the recipe, triple up, quadruple it up, as much as you want it. As you can see, I still have a lot left. The recipe calls for like 2 pumps, so you kind of eyeball it. Normally, like if you use the bottom of your Starbucks cup, if you have one, this is normally where they fill your syrup line up. So I'm enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed it. I might go ahead and eat me another croissant because that joint was bum. So if you enjoyed this Starbucks dupe, let me know in the comments. I don't know how many other Starbucks dupes I have in my arsenal, but if you want me to share some of my coffee recipes that I make for myself using my Keurig, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do those videos for you, because I'm all about being your own barista. You know the flavors and the type of coffee that you like, and some of us don't have the fancy espresso machines or the cappuccino machines, so you got to find ways to make it work for yourself. And I love my Keurig. I tell my husband that because he's like, why don't you get, you know, a different one? I'm like, because I mastered this one and I know how to make the coffees that work for me. So anyway, so I'm gonna go. As you can see, I'm still in my houseware because this is a chill day, but I wanted to share this with you all before I got started. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, you already know what to do. Give me a big old thumbs up, and as well, if you have not already done so, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you never miss any of my videos. So until next time, loves, peace.